Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to another edition of the Double Thought Show. KR, let's jump right into it. I
Ready.
heard a story about. We all heard a story about Jada again and Will Smith, and apparently Jada went on TV on various platforms, of course, to promote her book. One could
As
argue
you
that
should, as you should.
she should. Nothing wrong with that. But it seems as though at least she, again threw her husband under the bus. At least use him as a sacrificial lamb, as we know has been the case for in a couple of occasions in the past. But the first thing I thought of was you, because I know how you always talk about Jada, and I was like, yeah, finally my boy KR can shoot his shot at Jada because now he knows that Jada is single and you've been always talking about her. So yeah,
What the,
what
where are you going?
how how did you react when you heard this news?
well, first of all, don't forget to press showtime because I think it was showtime. Yes. So I was kind of surprised with everything she said in that interview, man. I was quite surprised, and it it made me look at the whole situation a bit differently. I have
Yeah.
to say, first of all, yeah. I think we need to realize that maybe
Well, maybe you can say what was your how did you look at a relationship before the interview?
I thought they were really together still, but after that interview, one thing I did was I went back to watch um, that Red Table Talk they did like 3 4 years ago,
Yeah.
and they said it during the show.
Did they?
They did, yo, dude. And now, in hindsight, you understand what they are saying.
So you
They
mean
were talking about being separated.
yeah.
Oh, they were really talking about not being together at that moment. So it seemed so the way you if you don't know the background, now we know the background. Now it's obvious that they were saying that they're not together anymore, but they weren't talking about it like
Like it was something about
obviously.
past.
They were saying like if you understand what they were saying, then you would understand they're not together. But they said it. They said it back then. So I
Well,
think it's
the way I remember this, the way
wake
the
up.
what I remembered was that they did mention, and I haven't had a chance to rewatch it. To be honest, KR, I'm not gonna do that either. But when I saw
Guess I'm the only one preparing for the show, I guess.
I guess so. Well, someone needs to. I mean, when you're the talent. I mean, anyway. So what I would say is oh yeah. So I do
The
recall that
talent is always the one who's not getting paid as well. You know that, right?
who gets paid?
The producer.
The producer? Well, I guess I'm getting the short end. I mean, but what I recall is that they did mention the fact that they were separated, but it seemed as though they were talking about something that happened back then. But maybe you would logically. I mean, I think
Because
when
the
someone
facade
when
is
someone's
a facade, as some people would say. A facade, a facade.
suffocate, yeah.
It's
You, I mean, if you see two people who are, you know that they're married, right? And you see them together at shows and at carpets, certain events, and you see them sitting at the red table talking about something that happened in the past, and you see the reaction on Will's face, and they end the show with "We ride together, we die together, bad marriage for life."
yeah, yeah.
They're talk you. I mean, the last thing it's. I mean, you wouldn't assume that they're living apart.
Yeah, but the thing is, I watched it back, and it all felt like a puzzle together. It really, I was watching, I was like, oh shit, they were really saying that. First of all, they were talking about the fact, and I'm gonna talk about. I think we should also talk about their relationship in a different light, because I think everyone has been looking at this a bit differently, a bit
Mhm.
wrong. But to go back to the red table, she was talking about what's the guy's name? August. August was asking for permission, but she said she's the only one who can give permission, not Will. All that stuff. Like they weren't together when it happened. They were already separated. He talked about not being together, not ever talking to her after being separated. It's, I mean, it's just,
Will said it.
yeah, Will said it. He didn't think he would have to talk to her again. So I think it was, we didn't just get the signs, and now she's putting the bad sign out. Like
Yeah.
it
But
guys, it's been over. What are you talking about? And I think it had to do with the slap as well, because people were blaming her for the slap, her toxicity, which she has in it, because she's talking
she,
about healing during that. Uh, uh, they are both toxic people. I'll just say that.
yeah.
They are both toxic people. And I think the interesting thing about this whole relationship is that maybe we've been looking at Will, all because we know Will since a young actor, right? He's been playing all those cool characters. We know him on screen as the cool guy. But maybe he's just a Russell Wilson of actors. Maybe he is just a Russell Wilson of actors.
I think he's worse, to be honest.
I thought I went left, but I guess I didn't went left enough.
I think so. Um, I think what you mentioned is true. There is a toxicity aspect, and it's heavy. They say that people that laugh a lot oftentimes have a lot of pain. Uh, and Will laughs a lot, and he
Damn, that
laughs
means
hard.
I'm empty from the inside. Then
Yeah, I mean it's because you're suffering. To be honest, one thing that I wondered, I mean, let's go back. Hindsight is always 2020, but I did used to wonder how is it possible to have a marriage when Jada was doing her thing with the Red Table Talk, and Will was traveling all over the world doing dangerous things. Remember, he reached 50
uh-huh.
and he
Uh-huh.
went skydiving and climbed the highest tower in the world. And I was
Doing a
like,
lot of stuff in Dubai.
yeah. And
Why
I
is
was
he in Dubai?
diving uh, in the in the deep the pool. You know which one I'm talking about, right? The
Yeah,
indoor
yeah,
pool,
in Dubai. Yeah, in Dubai. Yeah.
trying to drown his sorrows. So I was like, okay, how can you have a marriage and be separated like that? But the other side of me was like, maybe it's. I mean, first of all, it's Hollywood, and Hollywood is always different. Second of all, I think that when you're young, you want to do everything together. But as you get older, some people become more independent. Maybe, and I mean, it's not like Will has always had a busy schedule, acting, etc. Jada as well, acting once every 2 years. So it's like, okay, you have they're accustomed to it. So I was downplaying it, but I was shocked when I heard this news. It did make me to be honest, I still can't place everything. I do think that Will is a that relationship has all the characteristics
Hostage
female of
situation.
a female dom and a male sub,
I think it's a hostage situation, man.
a hostage. Well, who's well, if it's a hostage, it seems as though the way Jada was talking, it seemed as though Will didn't want to divorce. That's what it seems like.
It seems like that
But
to me
that's
too.
her side, and
That's her side, yes,
Jada
of
has
course. But if you
Jada.
look,
Let
oh,
me
so-
just finish this. So Jada has been known to throw Will under the bus for her growth. It seems as though she's jealous of him. So I do want to hear what Will has to say, but I do feel like uh, Jada has that. Jada, I wouldn't. Jada has that she's been doing it for a couple of while, and maybe it's resentment as well towards Will. Because if Will doesn't want her to go, let's say her story is true, and Will doesn't want her to go, then I can imagine the resentment
she's trying to
of,
cut the umbilical cord, man.
well, then she should just get a divorce.
But if he
She,
doesn't want to,
but then she just has to get a divorce. Because let's be honest too, I don't Jada is, no matter whose fault it is, Jada is Will's husband.
what?
That's the well, that's what we call a Freudian slip. So
Hey, yo, hey, yo.
I meant to say Will's wife.
I didn't know you had so much inside information. RJ with the inside information, dude. Turn off
I
your
don't know.
alarm, man.
Oh yeah, I
What
have.
the heck?
You know me, man. I've had Samsung for a while, and now I have some troubles with the iPhone. But yeah, it seems. But she is.
Hey,
I
Jay.
guess I guess there's some truth in it, but I think that she is she likes that position too, and I think that's the toxicity in it, because she doesn't want to be with Will. Will doesn't want to get divorced. That's what it seems like.
Will wants to keep the facade going on, man.
Yeah.
It's just I don't know why. I guess we'll never know. Because if you look at the interview she gave as well, it's like she's telling part of the story. She's obviously what I think, and I think that's the thing with the red table talk. I don't think she invited him. I think he invited himself.
Now
I
that's
really think
speculation. That's speculation.
that's speculation, but I think he invited himself to set things straight. Because the obvious thing is, and I think if you look at the slap at the Oscars, if you're not really together anymore, but you want the facade keep going on, you don't have a script at the moment. You're gonna do. He's an actor at the end of the day.
Yeah.
He's gonna act as what he thinks a husband should do in that situation.
I think that it's more. Yeah. Sorry.
And
Continue.
then he goes on, slaps the guy, and it all goes south because it's not in the script. He had to go off script at that moment.
Yeah.
Very unexpected situation. He had to improv, and then suddenly he's slapping the guy. It all goes south. He's banned from the Oscars for the next 10 years, and all for what? For just playing the facade. I think
Well,
he's the one who's trying to keep it up because she wasn't. She
I
wasn't really pushing him. She was actually surprised he went up there. She thought it was a skit.
I that's what she said. No pun intended. But the I think that it's more deep rooted than that, to be honest. I think it's really deep rooted in his traumas. Will has had, and he talked about it in a couple of videos. I think he does go into it and he dives into it into his book as well. He went through a lot of trauma Mainly, so childhood trauma mainly caused by an abusive father, verbally abusive, physically abusive. So he saw her mother get hit, things like that. And
Mm-hmm.
I think that he made a promise to himself to not be that person
Mm-hmm.
and to love his wife and to love, things of that. So he made a promise that, so he said, I want to be this type of husband. I'm not going to be my father. And because that's his goal, he wants to do it no matter what. Because if the marriage fails, he will feel like he failed.
If the marriage fails, his image is tarnished, dude.
I,
What the heck are you talking?
you're talking about image. You're talking
Yeah,
about image. It's an
this is all
image.
about image.
Yeah, but KR, it's an image he created. But the
Yes,
reason, but the reason why he created the image, he's Will Smith. He
yeah.
doesn't need. Listen, he doesn't need Jada. It's not like it's not like
He needs her. He needs her for the family aspect. He wants to play the family. He wants to be the Cosby, play the family man.
yeah, but okay. The reason why to
So he needs her.
I think it's more deep rooted because the way you're talking about it, it seems it's too superficial in my main in my opinion. You're saying, hey, for the image, yeah, maybe it's for the image that plays a role, of course, but I think it's more deeply rooted. I think he will feel as a failure because of the divorce, and what people think of him will also, of course, play a role, but he will feel as though he failed. So what he did was, this is my assessment, he sought out a woman that was not able to give him the opportunity to be the man he wants to be.
He was married before. You know that, right?
Yeah, 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 yeah. But he was in love with Jada.
Can you repeat what you just said?
He was in
Why would
love
he
with
marry her?
he married her. He sought out a partner
Mm-hmm.
that could not give him what the opportunity to be the type of man he wants to be. So that's the trauma. If he had sought out a woman that was more feminine, more humble, more catering, it would have been more easy for him to be the man that he wants to be. But because he is a, let me call it a, in the bad, so a woman pleaser in the bad sense of the word, he his trauma, so what he relives his trauma by every day trying to prove that he is worthy. And if he had sought out someone that would say you are worthy, that wouldn't have been enough because he needs the validation. He needs to keep proving. That's the whole thing. He says, he talked about in his book as well about women having a very large role in his life. And they have been um, causes of a lot of traumatic experiences. But that's the classical, when you there's a classical situation where you don't have a strong father. I'm not talking physically strong that can beat. I'm talking because that's what he had. I'm talking about a strong father figure that will teach you how to be a man, what to expect, how to act, what to accept, and what not to accept. He's a woman pleaser in the bad sense of the word.
I have a question. Why did he divorce his first wife? Did he say that
Because
in the book?
he talked about it, but it always seemed as though the attraction he felt with, this is what I recall, the attraction he felt with Jada, he didn't feel with her. So it was more like you're young, you're together. I don't know if the baby was planned or not, but it was more like opportunity. It was like opportunistic, the logical thing to do. But when he met Jada, he felt in love. He felt like this is the one.
She didn't want him.
I think
But make you ask yourself this, right? If I say I think, so you say I look at it, I might be looking at it a bit more superficial because I do really see the comparisons with with Russell Wilson. What do I mean by that? Russell Wilson is also someone who's always on top of the fact that it's about the image. Let's go, let's go, let's go. He's like a very image conscious guy. Super.
yeah.
He divorces his first wife who cheated on him, and then he goes for she was black, the first wife. Then he goes for sorry, she was white. Then he goes for Sierra, image wise. High pop star, has her own stuff going, gets to her, she has a kid with Future. He's still attaboying everyone at what's the team again? Before Broncos. Seattle.
Seahawks.
Attaboying at everyone at Seahawks, goes to Broncos now and pooping the whole field over.
That Thursday night game was expected. I
Yeah,
mean,
that was ugly. But he's so image driven, and and this guy, I think it's the same with Will. He's so image driven because we have, I think, I think the problem we have as well, and I'm gonna say this, he's such a cool guy on the screen that people might actually misconstrue that with reality. He might not be such a cool guy in real life. We have
you're
a certain image of him.
you're talking about Will,
Will, yes. Now I'm going back to Will. He's
because
also image
Russell
driven,
isn't cool on the field nor off the field. But
no
okay,
off the field. But this guy is a professional actor.
yeah,
So he knows how to act on screen, and he's been acting off screen, obviously.
yeah,
That's what we know now.
yeah.
And of course, maybe and I'm going down the rabbit hole right now. Maybe Jada saw something in him that she also saw in Pac.
Okay,
Pac was also, maybe she saw something in him that she saw in Pac. And then that means, and I'm
understand what
going down the rabbit hole. You want me to go there? Maybe Pac is not the guy we also see on screen.
he
Well, we
well
know that. We know that.
he's not that guy.
He wasn't that guy. He
When
was
you
never
hear
that guy.
No, when you hear the stories, so when I grew up, I was young, and you hear the stories, you believe what people tell you. But when you grow older and you start hearing people talking about Pac, he really didn't seem. He's not the guy that he tried to portray himself to
Yeah.
be. It's like the last part of his life before his
He was
unfortunate,
acting a role. He was Drake
unfortunate.
before
Yeah,
Drake.
yeah. Well, I would say this, right? The So I'm gonna say this. That definitely plays a role, but keeping an image oftentimes is done for reputation. So I guess
Mhm.
that this is what I mean to say. I think I think it definitely plays a role, but I'm saying the cause is deeper. That's what I think. So the reason for him, he seems like a very dark person inside, because if you focus so much on pleasing others, and pleasing others can also mean pleasing their perception of you, trying to uphold a certain, because when the thing is as well, KR, if you look at him at a show, he's always laughing the loudest. He's always, you can be cordial, you can be happy, you can be friendly, and still be relaxed, but he's always So
Extra.
yeah, very extra. And
I saw something
that,
during the red table. It made me look at him a bit differently. But guys,
but
don't
what I saw in the red
look at it.
on the red table, that's what I think is what he's really dealing with within, like a real pain. I think, you
He
know,
is the
her,
only one who knows what that real pain is.
yeah, I think Jada has something on him. A
Well,
couple of things.
she knows how he thinks and who he is, and maybe that's also why he doesn't want her to go. It's a
M-
code. It's a toxic codependency.
Yeah,
It's a toxic codependency. Both
maybe,
of these people are just screwed up. I'll
maybe,
be honest.
yeah, maybe Jada. This is also some possibility. I'm thinking, again, speculation, but maybe Jada is there's he, she stayed in the relationship out of pity
Yeah, maybe. I
because she was like, if I understand what Will's going through, to your point, and
I
I
have
don't,
my own demons as well.
yeah, so
He has demons.
but I can deal with it, but he can't. It might definitely be play a role, but I think this is what I do think, KR. Someone needs to take responsibility, and most likely, if it is indeed like that, then Jada just needs to divorce him. Because if I that's what I always say. If you have a, let's say, for friend zone situations, or either a friend zone situation where a guy is stuck in a friend zone, or a um, F body situation where the woman wants a relationship with the guy and the guy is not giving him that, giving her that. If you are in any dynamic where you get everything you want, you get your needs satisfied, either physically or emotionally, whatever, in a friendship or any other kind of way, and the other person wants more, and you are not willing to give him or her more, then the one that's satisfied, I think, is the one that, well, both of them have the responsibility to break the tie, but sometimes you have to say, well, I'm getting everything I want, but you want more. I cannot give you that, so we need to stop.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I don't think the way things are going, Will's not gonna divorce her. She needs to make that decision.
They're a bad marriage for life. So probably he's not gonna divorce him either. I think so. I've been, you know me, you know me. I've been hammering her a long time. I've been saying bad stuff about her.
Yeah.
But I think I'm starting to understand the whole picture, and I think just a codependent. They are both searching. They are both, I don't know what they're doing. They're just making it up as they're going. It's like Russell Wilson behind the O line, and there is no O line. He's just running around trying to
Yeah.
throw the ball.
Yeah. Yeah.
They
Yeah.
are running around trying to throw the ball. I don't know what they're doing, but I think um I think she's trying. Maybe she is by revealing these things. She's trying to remove herself, make it clear that what the situation is. And I think what bothered her the most is that she was being accused of adultery during the time with August while they were not together. And I think what also bothers her is that Will didn't say anything during that time of them not being together. So
Well, I would say that if it,
toxicity, right? If you know
well,
that you're not together, why don't you come out and say, guys, it's not what you think. We're not together anymore. So she
if
can
you're
do what she
married,
wants.
then people can say it's adultery, even if you're separated because you're married. That marriage is still a tie. It's a title, and I know what you're gonna say. It's a title, but it's still adultery, especially in the eyes of it.
1900s, man.
Well, I think it was a better time because we didn't have these type of stories breaking out.
Well, as we always say, we used to say like, if they what did we used to say? If they took,
Let's face it, if they took care of business, I'd be out of business. You know what I mean?
hey man, I think let's take a look. Let's look at what Will has to say, because it will eventually Will has to will have to share his story, what he thinks.
I'm done with that, man. I mean, you listen, bro. He came out with a book, a tell-all book,
When which
and
he told
didn't talk
nothing.
about this. What
Now
are we
she's
talking
telling
about?
everything. Now
And
she's
now,
telling
yeah,
everything.
yeah, and now you're gonna come with the sequel. So it's like you came out with a book, Will, and you didn't speak out. Listen, I feel, to be honest, and I feel very
Bamboozled.
no. I don't care about that. I don't care about them, but I feel I'm really what's the word? I'm really uh I'm worried about Will's mental health
I'm not.
because I am, because you need to be very messed up inside to do what to be in a situation like that. Jada can be, and Jada, I mean, I have my opinion of Jada. I have my opinion of Jada, and they're not so as a person and as a relation. I don't know who she is. She's probably a nice person if you meet her in the grocery store, but
You don't
I
know who
think
Will is either.
I'm saying but I think that I think he's very traumatized. And my the reason why I'm worried is if you tried so long to uphold a certain image, and that image is started to tumble down, it will force you to it will pop your bubble, so you can't it's there's nothing more you can do or say to uphold that world, and you never know how someone like that can react. So that's why
I
I'm
think. I
worried
think.
about it.
Yeah. I think. I'm past looking at Will as a victim in this whole situation. To be honest, a lot of people still look at him as the victim. That Jada is the bad person. I think they're both. They're both. I don't blame Jada anymore than I blame Will. The dude is, he needs to deal with the truth. And then maybe he's been trying to deal with it, and that's why she's trying to push him forward in order for him to deal with reality, because maybe he's living in a fantasy. She's trying to make it clear to him, it's deal with the reality. We're not together anymore. Stop acting like we're together.
But then break up with him. That's what I'm saying.
They broke up. They don't live together anymore
No
for 7 years.
divorce. Why would so the thing is, why
I know
wouldn't you
I've known
divorce?
people that have the same arrangement.
I know those people too. And you know why they don't divorce?
Because there's too much to lose.
There's too much to lose financially.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean the
What
thing is.
I'm afraid that will climb will climb another high tower.
Come on, we'll
That, that's what I'm afraid of. That he will see for another look for another challenge. Go swim with white sharks. Because deep down inside he wants to check out. That's to be honest. But maybe that's just
I'll
me.
be honest. I think a lot of people have to look at this a bit more objectively, and I'm done looking at Will as the
I don't blame you
whole
either.
victim
I
in
don't
this
blame
situation. Another victim. Let's talk about another victim, man.
you.
Damian Lillard.
Dame Dollar.
Dame Dollar's out here dropping his wife, dropping his team, going to a new team, and now the wife is clapping back.
Yeah, yeah.
She wants sole custody of the kids.
Not a custody battle.
Huh? Another
Not
custody
another
battle. Yeah.
custody battle.
She said he's leaving town. He's leaving everyone behind. So I
Leave
should be
the
the one caring for the
so
kids.
leave the kids too.
Leave the kids too. So I can so I can also get a higher check.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, it's tough. He also in this case, she is claiming that she's been helping him keeping the facade together of being a family man.
You know what? You know what's sad, KR? When this video is clipped and people hear you pronouncing the word as facade. I'm not gonna defend you.
It's a facade because it's a facade, guys. It's a facade.
Yeah.
It's not true.
Do people really say facade?
Well, I'll talk to you off screen.
Okay.
Why I do this?
Okay. Okay. Well, but
Feeling some swag from. Yeah, man. Hey, I know how to pronounce stuff, man, but sometimes you gotta spice it up, you know?
yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Stir it
So
up. But
so there was a facade going on as well,
yes,
according to her.
according to her, they married, I think, in 2001, and they separated in October 2022. What are we doing?
Wait, when did they get married?
2001 or 2000, something like that.
And when
And
did
then
they separate?
they separated in October 2022. So
Yeah.
they were
Okay.
together almost like I think 10 years or something like that. And then
No,
within a
20.
year, 20 or 20?
Yeah. Right.
Are they married?
2001. 2001 they got married, right?
No, 2021. Something like that.
Oh, I thought you said 2001.
No. 2000. I think they married in 2021. I'm not sure.
Wait, wait. So can you explain the timeline once more because I didn't get that.
So let me take a look real quick when they Damian Lillard.
That was like if they got married in 2020, then
So they married in 2021
mm-hmm.
and they separated in October 2022.
Okay, where's the facade?
Well, apparently,
Where's
apparently the last year it's been a facade according to her, because they haven't they
oh,
said
come on, man. Let me tell you what she's doing. She's jumping on the Jada wagon. Get out
no,
of here, man.
no. She's
Come
not
on.
jumping on that Jada
Yeah,
wagon.
she
She's
is.
jumping on the typical divorce wagon. This is like a, let's be honest, RJ. This is a typical strategy by lawyers.
Is it?
It is. In order
Why?
to get
Why do you
sole
say that?
custody. She's pushing
Oh,
for sole custody.
yeah. The sole custody, I can understand, but you're talking about the facade. You said that she's saying that it's a facade.
Because he's
What's
not,
the facade?
the facade is he's a family man. That's the facade.
Is he? It does. I didn't know he had that image.
I have no idea. That's what she's claiming.
That's what she's claiming. Okay, I
She's
got
claiming, yeah,
got
she's claiming it's all of us. He's not a family man. He doesn't hang out with the kids as much because he's playing games. He's making money so you guys all can eat. But
Wait,
it's all
wait, 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 wait. Let's look at that. He's playing games? No. He's going to work. What are you talking about, man?
that's
It's what he does.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah. I know, I understand that. That's the same as saying he's leaving out of town. I should have also. He's not leaving because he wants to.
he's never in town. Yeah, that's because he's getting that money.
Yeah, he's trying to feed you all.
Yeah.
The only way he can, because if he drops, he's not a B level of rapping.
No, that
He's a great rapper, by the way. He's a good rapper, but
didn't hear his
he's
rap.
not dropping no hits soon.
Mhm,
So the
mhm.
guy has to work because I mean he's going to the Bucks. Let's see what happens. But I don't know, man. It's a sticky situation there.
Yeah.
It's a very sticky situation. I think I don't expect anything else from this battle. What I mean is that it's a typical tactic that's being used in order to push for more
Money.
child support. At the
Yeah.
end of the day, that's I think it's very weird the whole situation. You've been together all that time, and just you can just
Yeah.
arrange, make an agreement together. You don't need
Yeah.
the the government in between you two because others have done it.
Yes,
Joe
they have.
Jonas, I don't know if you heard about that.
I
They
don't.
reached an agreement outside of the court.
Yeah.
Kids, yes.
Well, so litigation is oftentimes used as a strategy, right? To create urgency. So in that sense, yes, I do understand. Sometimes, let's say, as a lawyer, client will come to me, and the client will say, "Hey, this person isn't cooperating, or is not complying with the agreement," and I would say, "Okay, if the person isn't complying, then we need to send a notice letter, a default letter, and tell the demanding that they come across right with their contractual duties. And if we do that and the person doesn't react, or the person the counterparty doesn't react, or the counterparty says we do not agree with what you're saying, so we're not going to comply with your demand, and the client comes to me and the client will say, no, it's not fair, you need to write this, you need to write that, and I will tell the client, okay, I can, but if I write this and I write that, it will cost you this and it can cost you that. And if their position is already like like the way it is, so if, for example, if they react in a way where I see that, okay, there's information that the lawyer does not have, or that they do not include, then there might be a chance, because they reach a conclusion based on half of based off an incomplete view of the case. But if they have all the information and they still say no, we're not going to comply, you need to go to court. And sometimes the clients will say, no, it's not fair. How much does it cost? Oh no, I'll try to send another letter. No, I'll try to do this, and I'll tell them, yeah, we can do all those things. But the thing is, it will only prolong the inevitable, because at some point you need to go to court to put pressure. And the NBA season is starting. The pre-games are the preseason games are already going on, and pretty sure the player, I mean, Damian Lillard doesn't want to have that. He wants to focus on the game.
So is
So
that a negotiation in good faith or under pressure?
it's not a it's no, a
It's always a
negotiating a
negotiation.
negotiation under pressure is not necessarily bad. Uh, it's
But it's
when
in good faith.
it's when the
If you know
it's
he needs to start the season, and there's
but
a
that's, yeah,
urgency to
that's just a strategy. No, that's
Mhm,
just a strategy.
mhm.
The pressure, it's when the pressure is unlawful, so disproportionate. For example, because there's a firearm, or let's say if you're going to get married and the person says one day before, if you don't sign the prenup, then we don't get married tomorrow.
Oh,
If
that's by the way, he's another thing about his. Apparently, well, he signed the prenup. They signed the prenup the last week of
mm,
before marrying. I don't
mm,
know what with these guys, by the way, with the last moment prenup. Either sign it a month before or don't marry.
yeah,
Cut the foot off. You're putting yourself in weird situation. Maybe it's getting thrown out, just like Jeannie Mai and Jeezy one day before. I don't know what's with these guys, man.
yeah.
In the week before the marriage, that's also a
Yeah, I talked about this because that's the thing, because when you're planning a wedding, everyone's planning the colors and all those, the colors of the adornment and the theme and the band. the guest list and the legal aspect is comes last when getting married. But the funny thing is, when getting divorced, that's the first thing that people talk about. So, but I say that to say that it wouldn't surprise me if they reach a settlement, because this is just a money grab. Well, to call it a money grab, yeah, it's a money grab. And but then again, they've been married for like a year or two. 2 years officially, but separated after the first. So it's a very short marriage. I'm guessing they had kids before they got married, Care.
Yes, yes, 5 and 2. So
So
basically,
the relationship
maybe
has
maybe
gone on for
maybe
a while.
they married as a Hail Mary. Let's
Maybe.
try to marry to save it all because it was already going south. Because otherwise, there is no way you can marry and within a year you're already separated. You're trying to say, I don't know how that works, that mindset where you're, but that's the only thing I can explain. You've
I
been
think,
together for almost 20 years.
yeah.
I mean, they've been together since college, so it's maybe 8, 10 years or something like that. And then you married, and after a year being married, you're divorced or you're separated. That's the only way I can explain it because the problem that got you separated was there already. It's not like it pops up after marriage. Suddenly she showed her face after marriage. At least I hope not. That
Yeah.
would be crazy, actually.
I do think that when you get married, it happens a lot. Not a lot, but it's not uncommon for people that have been together for like 16 years, getting married and getting divorced in 2 years. There's something about that getting married that changes people. It does change people. And sometimes it changes them because someone might say, now that you're a married man, you can't be doing this and this and this. Hey, you're a married woman, you can't be doing this and this and this. And you never know what was going on. I do know that people who also say, okay, let's go all in because the relationship is
Let's put our chips on the table.
I mean, but I think that relationships are difficult.
They
Mm.
are. They
And
are.
marriage, when and you know what, another thing is, KR, a lot of people want to get married for the party, but they do not
For
want
the
to
image,
for but they
for
do
the
not want
Instagram,
but they do not want to stay there for the really for
for the
the
tough times.
yeah.
It's not easy, and I understand as well. Marriage is not easy, and that's the. I mean, relationships are also not easy, but I think marriage puts another
Puts pressure. It
pressure,
puts
a different level of
yeah,
expectations
yeah.
towards each other. Even though if you have kids before, and not everyone can deal with that. Not everyone can deal with that. And you have to have clear expectations towards each other, man. I mean, that's starts with I think that as a base, right? You need to understand what is the goal. I
Yeah.
mean, it's a partnership at the end of the day. You start a
And
partnership.
yeah, and to me, this is my point, KR, and I understand what you're saying, and I do agree with you to a certain extent. If the relationship doesn't work out, that's one thing. People change, situations change. Sometimes something that was, let's say, the amount of attention you were receiving at one point is not what you want to receive now. Maybe you want different kind of attention, whatever. So, I mean, that's human. And I don't, I think it's just, it happens. But why involve the kids? Why would you go for sole custody? You understand what I'm saying? Like, why would you do that?
Because the lawyer is telling her that.
Of course, but why would you?
But
That's
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 what
the
I'm trying to
issue.
say.
That's the issue. That's
Why
the
would
issue.
you? I mean, you don't have to involve the court in this whole thing, right? You can also do it outside of the court.
Yeah,
Create an agreement because you're both grown people. You're both responsible people, and at least you can
you
expect
should be.
that.
You should be,
Should
yeah.
be. You should put the kids. I mean, if you're striving for soul custody, you're basically telling the kids you're not gonna see your dad unless
Yeah.
I want to.
And that's a power play. So
Yeah,
that's my point. That's a power play towards the father.
yeah.
It's a power play because
They
the
did that also as well with what's the guy's name, Kevin Costner. She tried
yeah,
to play him.
yeah, it's a power play. It's like I can get you, so I'll get the kids, and then they become my kids, and
Weaponizing the kids
that
against the
they're
dad.
weaponizing the kids. And again, what for? The kids. So it's a fundamental human right for kids to have a relationship, a bond with both parents.
Yes.
It's the kids' right. It's not the parents' rights to see the kids. The kids have the right to be with the parents. So they have the right to be with both parents. And of course, now what they need to do is they would need to find a way to divide the time, but it's the kids have that right. Why? What did Lillard do that was so bad that it would justify only you having custody of the kids and telling telling him, let's say, okay, you want the kids, okay, but these are the conditions. It's a power play, and that's a way that the wife is trying at this moment to so it seems to get more power, so she would have more leverage when demanding money or making any other kind of demands.
Yeah.
and
At the end.
and Lillard might be thinking, I'm glad I'm in Milwaukee now because
But the thing is this is why also the older I get, I start to look at these situations a bit more differently. You sometimes also understand why some dads take a step back, man, because of the toxicity of the mom. And you're like, you know what, man? I'll talk to the kid when they are 18. They'll understand. I'll explain to them what happened.
yeah.
It's not good, but
I think it's I'm also reaching that conclusion. There gets a point in time where you need to choose between the kids having a weak father around or no father around. And when I say no father, I'm not saying completely no contact, but sometimes the mother makes it impossible. Sometimes the mothers can make
yeah,
it impossible, but then you need to make a tough decision. It's not what you want, because ideally you want, okay, if the relationship doesn't work out with the mom, the kids, I'd still want a relationship with the kids. They're my kids. But there comes a point where you need to make that decision. And to be honest, Kara, I don't know which one is more harmful for the kids. But
that's
it's
I
not.
have no
But
idea either.
that's a thing. Which one? You never know, because you can stay in the household, and the kids will resent you because you're weak. They won't respect you because you're weak, and it will create almost the same traumas, KR, as having no father around.
You end up like Will.
It's like the
You
same
end up like
traumas, bro.
Will.
One crackhead son.
Who's the
Um,
victim and who's the perpetrator?
yeah.
You don't know because both angles are very weird.
Yeah. So at some point you need to say no. And maybe that's a better thing to separate, work on yourself, be stable. And when the time comes and you get introduced to your kids will hate you because there are three phases. The kids will idolize you at a young age, then they will demonize you when they get like the teenage age, and then they will accept you for who you are. That doesn't mean that they agree or disagree, but they will be like, this is how dad is, this is how mom is. And I think that the demonizing is gonna come either way. But if when they come to you, you're stable, You can help them, uh, create opportunities for them. It's not the best thing because ideally you would have wanted to do it at a younger age,
Yeah.
but yeah. So that's why I do think it is important to at least fight for the custody battle, for the kids. But if the kids, I mean, if in this case the judge grants the Lillard's wife, soon to be ex-wife, sole custody, and the wife abuses that power, then yeah, there's not much Lillard can do, and it's not the kid's fault that their mom is like that, but they just need to deal with it.
At a certain age, and I think that's very important with kids from separated parents, you have to grow up yourself and ask yourself why certain things happen and try to investigate. Don't believe everything that's being told to you. Just go out and ask if your dad is alive or your mom, because there's also the other way, right, where the dad is gets full custody, and it's very extreme most of the time, because then probably the mom has a lot of problems if the dad gets full custody. You barely see that, but ask yourself always, get to learn both sides of the story, so then you avoid
I
kind of.
had it. I experienced it once. There was a start of my career. One of the first client I sat across the table from. She was a short lady. I was 25 when I became a lawyer,
Put the short in.
uh, because it will help describe the lady.
Okay.
She was short and very voluptuous. That's why I mentioned the short. So, and she sat across the table from me, and she was very, um, she was radiating, and I don't mean this as a joke, but seriously, she was radiating sex appeal.
Mm.
I mean, you could see that she radiates it. And she was talking about, no, they're going to want to take my child away. Uh, the authorities want to take my child away. It's not fair. It's not fair. And she was like 20. I think she was a bit older than I was. She was probably 28.
Mm.
And I was like, no, okay, we're going to work on it. We're going to work on it. And while I was working the case, when I started, I found out that this would be the fifth child,
Jesus.
because she was attractive,
Mm.
but IQ wise and EQ wise, she was like a child.
Mm.
She never fully developed it.
Mm.
So it's always like, and she was very simple minded. So attractive. I mean, that's a rest. I mean, it was a lot of men. So she had five kids, five different. That was her fifth kid, five different fathers, and she kept none of them because she wasn't able to work. She wasn't able to do anything to create to produce money, because she was not like mentally like incapable of doing that.
Yeah.
And so those kids, and the question is then, why do you skit as a man? But yeah,
Heat of
they
the moment. You gotta ask you. You gotta protect yourself at all times before you find yourself in a peculiar situation. Let's put it that way.
yeah. So anyway, KR, anything else you wanted to discuss in
There's a
today's
lot of
show?
things to discuss, but I think we're at the time. So
All right. Now we'll save it for the next show or any other day. Maybe we'll drop a short show in between. Guys, let us know what you think about we talked about in today's show. Whatever your thoughts are, let us know in the comment section below. We want to hear your thoughts and opinions on the matter. What do you think about the Will and Jada situation? What do you think about Lillard's situation? Should we No. Is there such a thing as couple goals? Let us know.
Couple goals, yeah, staying together forever. Bad marriage for life.
Sounds like a insurance commercial. But yeah, guys, remember to subscribe if you haven't done so already. Rate the show by pressing the like button. Check us out on our socials at Double Touch Show on Facebook and Instagram. And of course, share the video with your friends, your family, and your enemies. We'll see each other in the next one. Until next time, peace.
Peace.